Hey, come on. Come in. Come on. Come on, sit down. So you probably know me as ES43. I am going to be your therapist, I guess. Just someone to talk to today. Okay? Okay, sounds good. I'm ready. Let's talk. Cool. Let's go. Would you mind maybe introducing yourself? Your name. No, I wouldn't mind introducing myself. So basically, my name is Andrew, and I'm just coming in to talk to you. Nice to meet you, ZS43. And yeah, I'm just ready to start talking about whatever you want to talk about. Okay. So if you didn't already know, this interview or like this talk session is mostly going to be about like how you're doing right now. And I heard that you actually did one with David. Well, I am going to be your question guy today. So I just want to ask you a few questions like you did with your friend, and about LHS, Loudonville, whatever, but mostly on just your life in general. So my first question is, what is your opinions on Loudonville High School in general? Like, what just tell me what you think about it. So whenever you're ready, just go ahead and you can talk. So what do I think about Loudonville High School, LHS? I think it's a great place, and there's going to be a few opinions in here that I'm not going to say just because I have teachers that watch the videos now, and I personally don't want to, start any controversy. And those opinions are mostly because of what has happened to David with the whole stuff. And it was nothing bad, just to let you know. But I think, in general, for me, Loudonville High School is a great place because of my needs. And, for me, I don't really need a lot of help with things. Like, I do need help studying with teachers, but that's what everybody has most of the time. But I think that, in general, I don't really need additional help with my education in general. So for me, Loudonville is a great place. For people like David, obviously, it's a good place for people if they have a good reputation already. But if you have a bad reputation, like David did, you're not really going to see a great impact on that student because the students that are around him are obviously going to be a little bit more picky on a person like David was. I'm going to mention him a lot in this video just because, he was bullied a lot about a lot of things. And I think his last year when I was online and I wasn't really there to guide him on a few things and like keep him in the straight line, I think that last year was his like breaking point with a lot of things. And I think that him moving to another school is going to help him with building other friendships, of course, because he only had me at Loudonville High School a lot of times. But I think in general, David, he definitely needed to go to another school that could allow him a fresh start, just because of the fact that he didn't really have a good reputation at our school. But enough with David there. It's my opinion. Most of this video is going to be my opinion. I'm just going to mention him on the side because most of the video is about him too. But my opinion is, like I said, it's a great place for people like me that don't need a lot of help. They can kind of be independent with their stuff. But yeah, when I got there, I've been at LHS since preschool all the way to 10th grade now, which is sophomore. And it's a great place. In terms of education, it's a great place for that in general, because there's a few teachers that get off topic a lot, but they tend to get through their lessons pretty good. So Yeah, they're great teachers, great teachers. I don't think that there's any like teacher problems there. Like there's some mean teachers, but we all get over that. But yeah, the teachers are nice. The education is pretty good in most classes. And I just think that I had a better start. So I have a lot more friends, like in a sense that I have a better reputation. And it's good to have a good reputation in general because you can have a lot of friends. But in general, I just, I think LHS is a great place. Yeah, not a lot of problems. Bud School, I think, was a little iffy. McMullen was awesome. Bud School, I wouldn't go back there. I mean, in a sense that I didn't really miss it a lot, except music and stuff, because I'm into music. But a lot of the times, I don't think I would really miss that place in general. LHS is a great place to, build more friendships, and just it's mostly once you get into high school, it's not about play; it's about learning most of the time. And I think that they do a good job of that. And yeah, I just think LHS and Loudonville School District in general is a good place. They also tie up with Career Center, which is a little bit, it's pretty far from here. It's like maybe a 30-minute drive, but it's a great place too. The reason why I mentioned that because that school actually ties into our school because we're partnered with them. We do a bunch of stuff with them. Career Center is basically a place where you can, go get ready for jobs and, get introduced to what you're going to be working on depending on the class you get into, like culinary and graphic arts and auto mechanic and welding and stuff. That's a great place. I don't think I'm personally going to go there myself, but I think other people that would be interested into sacrificing a little bit of their schooling time for Career Center, that's great. But yeah, I think our school is well organized with a lot of things. I especially love STEM. This is our robotics shirt. We do robotic tournaments, and Miller out there, he runs the robotics, and he also does, he does POE, which is Principal of Engineering. He does a STEM program, and it's awesome. You should go check out our robotic tournament sometimes. I'm pretty sure, you just kind of go there, and I think you gotta get a ticket, and you just go in and watch them. But I think those are awesome. This is a shirt that I got for helping them, and my dad, that you see on Deadwood Productions a lot, which is, I'll put that in the link or the description so you can see that. But robotics is awesome. I just think that LHS in general is a great school. I just think that ever since COVID, things have been a little off the rails with a few things. But other than that, LHS is a great place. But I think that's all I have. Obviously, I'm not going to have a lot of things just because it's a great school for what I need. I've made good friends, aka Shade, Braden, bunch of friends. Like, I have a pretty good standing at LHS, and not a lot of students are going to have that. It just depends on where you started or how you act, but I think that goes for everything. But yeah, I know I've said this like 50 times through this whole entire section, but I love LHS. It's a great place. Like I said, there's a few things I'm not going to say that are bad because, I still go there. I'm not going to want to get suspended from whatever, but there's a few things that I don't want to say right now, but I'll say it like later. But it's a great school. It's a great school. Go Birds, right? Go Birds. It's a great school. But yeah, that's all I have for question number 1. That sounds pretty good. Pretty fair. My second question is, when you lived in Loudonville, because I heard that you moved in Perrysville, I won't disclose the location because obviously it's your privacy. We want to know how was Loudonville? Did you like it? Did you not? We want to know your opinion. Go ahead whenever you're ready. Yeah. So yeah, your question is a pretty good question. How was Loudonville when I was there before I moved? I think it was great. I made a lot of friends down there. There's Benny, which lives in, I forget, but he lives far away from here now because he moved, because the restaurant got closed down. If you know, Benny is the son of the owners of the China Walk. That was a good restaurant. But in general, I lived in Loudonville for since I was born until I moved, which was in around 2020 to Perrysville. But when I was in Loudonville, that was a great place. The neighborhood I was in was pretty sketchy sometimes, but I also had some friends that I lived by. But in general, Loudonville is a great town because we have a fair every October. It's around the October 8th. We have a fair yearly, street fair, so it's free. You can go down. And then when I was younger, we had a dairy that I used to go to with my brother a lot, and we used to get ice cream. And I used to go with my family. We'd get ice cream. Then they teared it down, and in the recent videos, you've seen that it's now a Taco Bell, which is not a bad replacement. I like the Taco Bell. It's a great place. Not the actual one. You didn't hear that. Anyways, so yeah, in my younger years, I used to bike down there a lot when in the summer, and I used to bike with Benny, my brother. We used to race. That was recently we used to race. But when I was younger, we biked, walked around. Since I didn't really live that far away from town, honestly, I think you could count it as I was in town. I just lived around a block in Loudonville. But yeah, I miss Loudonville in a sense that I could just take my bike and whoop-de-doo down to Loudonville and spend time with my friends, and also just easily go down and spend time with David a lot. But in general, Loudonville is a great place to hang out with people, I've noticed. And they have a lot of great stores now. Now, some of the stores I don't agree with, like, I'm not going to say the name because a lot of people might like it because, there's people out there. But most of the time, the stores are awesome down there. And we also have an ice sculpture thing. Actually, we had it recently. We usually have it around this time when it's cold. But yeah, when I was younger, it was a great place. And before I moved, it was a great place. The only times I would feel like scared to go back to the block was when it was dark. Obviously everybody's gonna be scared at night, but it's just kind of at night. It's kind of a sketchy place. In general, that's why they have curfews. I think 10 o'clock or something. I heard about that. We have a great clothing store down there that I think she makes like a bunch of stuff like Letterman jackets for us at the LHS. I think she also made the robotic shirts and the beanies that you see in the videos, the recent videos. But yeah, great place. I think my best memory had to have been when it was raining and it cleared up, and I went downtown with my brother, and we took a corner too sharp, and we landed right in a mud puddle. Beautiful. I had to walk home barefoot. Just beautiful. All those rocks going on your feet. It was not beautiful, actually. I was joking, but yeah. Our bus stop, it was a pretty cool bus stop. Thanks, man, if you are out there and you see this. Thank you for sharing your lawn with us, and I'm pretty sure you're still doing it so that the bus driver can have a place to pick us up. And I kind of felt bad for you, even though you didn't really care. I'm guessing, but I kind of felt bad for you in a general standpoint because we had to step in your yard and mess it up a little bit every time we need to get on the bus, and we'd stand under your like whatever it is. We'd stand at your door to get out of the rain and the cold. I don't know. That bus stop, I kind of felt bad because obviously you had to deal with us stepping all over your lawn, but I don't think you cared. Yeah, I lived by a lot of cool people. Samuel, he still lives at his house. I used to live by him a lot, and then before Peyton moved, she moved like a long time ago, even when I was still there. And I think with Sam, I went down to his house once, and it was pretty cool. We played 007 I think it was the Golden Eye. It was pretty fun. And then we played the soccer. Yeah, like I had living by Sam was awesome because we like say hi to each other when I passed by his house. Um, yeah, and then when Peyton was there, I guess I would go visit her and talk to her for a little bit, you know. Um, but yeah, they were two pretty cool people to talk to. And then I lived by Natalie. I think her name is. She's I think a senior or a junior. She's pretty cool to talk to. Um, but yeah, honestly, that neighborhood and Loudonville in general was a great place. The park was awesome too. You could just walk down and have some fun, and you can come back before it gets dark. And it's a it's a trusted place because there's always going to be tourists and like just people in general downtown. So I feel like you can feel safe in Loudonville. So it's a great place. It's a great place, and we also have a lot of tourism. So we have Mohican canoeing and canoe livery and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, Loudonville's a great place. Uh, I also play in the band, so I didn't quit because I went to Parisville. I play in the band. So LHS band has a season. They play in the football season. Then we have our performances at the fair, and then we have a bunch of concerts. So band is awesome. That's what I forgot to mention in the LHS question. Yes, the band is awesome. I play in it. Yeah, that's really all I have for Loudonville. It's a great place, great food there. It's just getting better every day when I go down there now. Pretty cool. Yep, that's all I have for that one. And my third and last question is: now that you're in Perrysville and now that you have your new life at your new house and everything, what's going on? Just what's going on with how's school still, how's life. I heard it's been about almost 3 years now. I think 3 years now since you moved into your new house, and I just want to know, how is it? Do you like it? Yeah. Anyways, go ahead when you're ready. Dang, all these questions are pretty good. You must know a lot about me. But yeah, how is my life 3 years from moving from Loudonville, and just how is it in general? I'd say it's pretty good. I 2020 is you where I moved. 2020 is around the time I moved here to Pattersville, out in the country. Great place. 2020, it was a rough year because I had to do online because my sister is gets sick pretty easily and my dad does. So online was a pretty rough time for almost all of us, and especially since we were kind of hit with it, our little online um, moment. The teachers weren't really prepared for it, so I really struggled in 2020. Like my GPA, it needs some rebuilding. Even now, it does. But yeah, it's great. Then in 2021, which was recently, I had a girlfriend for a few weeks, but that didn't really work out. I guess I don't do good in relationships in general. Um, that was pretty recently, so I mean, I guess I'm jumping around in the timeline here, but my new house is great just because of the fact that we're in the country and we don't have to hear neighbors blasting their music and yelling at the top of their lungs, and we don't have to worry about trash getting in our yard. Anyways, we have great neighbors. I think behind me in that direction, we have a great neighbor. I'm not going to say his name because I'm sure he doesn't want to be in video. I mean, I'm sure he does, but I'm sure he doesn't at the same time. But yeah, he maintains a lot of animals, and it's pretty cool. I'd like to do that someday. It sounds pretty cool. And then if you about around this direction, we have some great neighbors now. I'm not going to say their names either, just because I just don't want to accidentally find out that they didn't want their names in the video. But actually, when we first moved here, we actually looked down there and it was like for sale, and we were like, oh no, please don't be the neighbors we had last time. And it actually turned out to be awesome neighbors. I'm slowly starting to become good friends with them. I even had a jam out session on the guitar and the saxophone. Well, not the saxophone, but I have a guitar that my dad got for himself that I play, and I played it down there with their dad, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, they're pretty cool neighbors. We have cookouts sometimes, and we have bonfires. Just great thing about living in the country is that there's not a lot of nosy people, so you're not going to be asked to turn down your music too much most of the time. Yeah, there's not really any bad things about the country, except you can't just walk downtown like I used to in Loudonville. And I guess the power goes out a lot, like a lot. It's kind of annoying, but gotta deal with it. You know, it's a great life because you get a lot of privacy. Besides, when our trees got cut down by our gas company, or the gas company that we live by, is now fracking and doing all their stupid stuff, so they have to take all our trees. But we also have a great gas line that we do a bunch of work on now, gas trail. And yeah, just life after I moved to Perrysville and our family moved here is pretty good. You get a lot of freedom because you could just like basically do whatever you want. No one's gonna care. The bad thing about where our location is the fact that there's pretty much houses all around us, so you can't really go shoot a gun without accidentally hitting something, which is kind of unfortunate. But it's what it is, and it's not really a big deal. And then another great thing is we got into firewood and splitting, so now we have a channel. Like I said, it's Deadwood Productions. You can see it in the description. We have a channel now, so that means that we post firewood things, and we also have a wood burner, so we have to do firewood anyways. Yeah. Great content potential. Lots of area to play and shoot airsoft guns and bows around. And then we have bonfires, like I said. We also have a garage now that doesn't fall down. Hey, look at that. Because our old one literally fell down. Literally, one day. I think we helped it, but it mostly fell down on itself. And I'm happy none of us were in there, because that would have been something. Anyways, we had to clean that up at our old house. Anyways, we have an actual functioning garage down there that if you saw on the recent videos, it's pretty cool. We get to do a lot of projects like painting our trailer and, just riding four-wheelers around the property a little bit. We don't got a big property, but at my grandma's, which is literally down the road now, which is great. If she needs help or something, we just rush down there. But she has my grandpa and grandma, they have a great property down there too that we rip our four-wheelers through a lot. And, since it's an open property, it's not really a big deal. So now we live closer to my grandma and grandpa, which means that we get to help them more. We don't have to. Yeah, just the great things about living in the country in general is just being able to do a lot more things that would definitely get complained about in town. Like you can't go shoot a bow in your backyard in town because there's houses all over the place and someone's gonna notice and call the cops on you mostly. And you can't just go fire a gun. Well, we can't fire a gun off at a target out here because that's going to scare people. But you definitely couldn't do it in town, because if you did that, then you definitely get a cop call about maybe a murder if you did it in town. But out here, if you shoot guns and bows and arrows and crossbows, no one's going to care, because obviously at that point it just seems like you're practicing for hunting or having fun. But yeah, 2022 has been a great start so far. I've started the channel back up. If you noticed, I was thinking about leaving it for dead, but I decided I am going to try YouTube again, and it's been doing great so far. So yeah, and me and my dad even started the Deadwood channel, which is awesome. So these 3 years have been a rough start to a great. Um, it's been rough in the sense that COVID started and all that crap, but now it's slowly worked its way into a great time. But yeah. Sound complaints aren't a thing. I mean, they are if you start yelling at the top of your lungs, but most of the time, if you're talking loud in your room, like if I'm over there, my setup's over there, and I'm yelling into my mic, obviously my family's gonna care, but no one else outside the house is gonna care because they can't really hear me that much, like in town and in the block area. But yeah, life's been great, and I don't really have a lot of complaints. So I think that's all my answers. And I'm just gonna let ZS43 do the outro and see you guys. Okay, so all your stuff sounds pretty cool. I'm happy you shared with us your experience in your life so far as a person that lives their life out of the YouTube life. Obviously, you know I'm your second personality or your YouTube personality, so of course I really don't know what's going on with you. But yeah, I'm happy to hear that you're doing pretty good, and looks like you didn't have a lot of negative stuff going on. So yeah, cool. So basically, I just interviewed Andrew here, and I think all of his points are very clear, and I think he has a very good life. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Yeah, if you did, leave a like, share the video with your friends, and go watch David's video where he interviewed David about his Loudonville high school experience. It was just about Loudonville. He didn't really specify his life, but he did say some things that were going on that were good. But yeah, if you like the video, go to that one, watch that one too if you haven't already. And yeah, peace guys.